your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. It is a type of cancer that begins in the ovaries. Many women are at risk of developing ovarian cancer, and health practitioners say early detection is important to treat the disease. Tonight we begin a new series called Holistic Health, where our Jamila Mizik shares important questions you may want to ask your primary care physician.
Today on Holistic Health, we explore the ins and outs of ovarian cancer. We sought the expert advice of Dr. Shamanique Bodie-Williams, consultant gynecologist at the Ram Memorial Hospital, who will answer important questions about diagnosis, prevention, and treatment.
Ladies generally have 2 ovaries, and they're responsible for producing the eggs that allow them to conceive. And ovarian cancer is when there are cells, and cells are what make up different parts of the body, that they turn not normal. So when these cells turn not normal, it's just like if you have a friend or if you have a family member that comes over and stays too long, it can cause havoc. And so that means that these cells don't die when they're supposed to, and then they start to get into other organs and eventually can cause a person to become ill with symptoms and then possibly die. It can present with no symptoms at all, which is one of the concerns. And then the other ladies can present with symptoms such as like an upset stomach, or they may have menstrual problems. They may find that they may have changes in their bowel movements. And they may also find that they may have weight gain or weight loss that's unintentional. But the challenge is, because the ovaries are organs that are inside the body, very often the symptoms present when the disease is far gone, or what we call an advanced stage.
She says they're still looking at ways ovarian cancer can be prevented.
We know that if a lady has an increased weight, that she has an increased chance of having cancer. And so by weight reduction, you reduce your chance of cancer by 18 to 32%. We also know that diet, because it is hormonally driven, so diet modifications. So if we start to eat more healthy, and we eat less hormones, then that can play a part. The things that we cannot change would be age, because it is more common in the 50s. We cannot change our genetic, which is the information that makes us up. And so that would be like your race. Those are some of the things that you cannot change. Other risk factors that may help you prevent it, for example, oral contraceptive use. So that decreases the risk by about 50%. And then if you use things like powder, like we used to put powder on the infants, that was very common. That's a practice that increases the risk. So these are things that you can do in terms of prevention.
Dr. Bodie-Williams says early detection and diagnosis is very important as it increases one's survival rate.
The treatment is going to depend on where the disease is. And the treatment is going to depend on the information that you obtain about what is going on with the disease process. And so it's a step procedure. It's not straightforward. It's not simple. So one of the things I tell my clients is that you get to know you, so that if something is not well, then you can in turn go see your healthcare provider, and then they can guide you through, because the workup is required before you even get to treatment. And that includes detailed history, an exam, imaging, and possibly laboratory data. And sometimes treatment and even diagnosis may even require surgery.
Now, 1 in every 70 women may develop ovarian cancer. And although it is the second most common cancer found in women, it is still comparatively rare compared to the other types of cancer. Until next time on Holistic Health, I'm Jamila Mizik.
The Public Hospitals Authority and the Grand Bahama Health Services mourning the passing of Emergency Medical Services Manager Selwyn Strong. Strong contributed 18 consecutive years of stellar service at the helm of EMS at the Grand Bahama Health Services. According to a statement issued by the PHA, 46-year-old Strong had an extensively decorated was an extensively decorated paramedic who demonstrated visionary leadership, often identifying ways to improve training for his staff to ensure that they remained on the cutting edge of emergency medical techniques. Annually, he assumed the shared responsibility of leading and directing activities for disaster preparedness and possessed expertise in rescuing and saving lives during mass casualty incidents and natural disasters, the most recent being Hurricane Dorian in September 2019. Strong died at the Princess Margaret Hospital, New Providence, on April 8th. And that's a look at stories making news. Here's a check on what's happening in sports with our Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to ZNS Total Sports right here in the North. After an impressive basketball season, Coach Yo took a quick timeout where she made a trip to Freeport, Grand Bahama to be with family and friends. Coach Yo led Matthew McEwen making a surprise visit home to Grand Bahama just days after her Ole Miss women's basketball team competed in the Women's National Invitational Tournament Championship game. The Rebels finished the season with a 15-12 record, which was their first winning season since the 2016-2017 season. Coach Yo says the future looks bright for the Lady Rebels.
Well, I think we're right on target. If anything, maybe a year ahead of schedule, you know, because when I took the job over, it was a difficult job. It was a complete rebuild, but the way I built it was like in 4 years, because my first contract was a 4-year contract because the state of Mississippi only allows 4 years. So the first year was assessment, second foundation where we were able to recruit, and third is proof of concept, and that's this year that we're currently in, and then next year will be stability. And so that's how I broke down, like, okay, if I only get 4 years, this is how I'm going to build the program.
For the majority of the season, Coach Yo had her parents in Mississippi with her by her side. She says it was a bonus to have them around.
I enjoy having my family. I think my kids more than anybody else enjoys having, you know, daddy and mommy around. There's a piece that I get with, you know, coach in my practices and stuff. Even though like he doesn't say much, I know he's there. So, and I kind of remember like when I was coming up, he would be in the gym and I didn't say much, but I was there. So I knew there was a lot that I was grasping without him even teaching me, you know.
Legendary coach Gladstone Moan McPhee added that he could not be more proud of the work that his daughter is doing.
I'm extremely proud. When I'm in practice, sometimes I say, damn, look at me. You know, I'm proud to say that I have a daughter who has so much passion with the game that we go up together with.
In college track and field, Grand Bahamian Terrence Jones, who holds a national junior record in the 200 meters, opening the outdoor season at Texas Tech at the Masked Rider Open track meet, ran a 20.97 in the 200 meters on the weekend, finishing in second place. Also, Chiron Kemp led the way for Minnesota State University track and field team at the South Dakota Challenge, winning the long jump at 23.8, topping Division I foes from South Carolina State and South Dakota. Now on the pro circuit, former world champion Donald Thomas competed at the World Athletics at the Miramar Invitational in the high jump, where he jumped a season's best 7 feet 3 3/4, placing him second in the high jump behind American Shelby McEwen, who won with a jump of 7 feet 5 inches. And that's a quick check on sports right here in the North. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.